I never imagined that a simple Christmas gift could unravel a web of lies so deep that it would tear a family apart. My name is Olivia, and I've been happily married to my husband, James, for over 10 years. We have a beautiful son named Nathan, who is the light of our lives. Life was simple, peaceful, and filled with love. Until my sister-in-law, Sarah, decided to turn our world upside down. Sarah and I have never gotten along. From the moment James introduced me to her, she made it clear that she didn't approve of me. It wasn't just the usual sibling protectiveness. It was something deeper, something mean-spirited. At her wedding, she accused me of trying to upstage her because I wore a cream-colored dress, even though she had chosen the color for all her bridesmaids. Since then, every interaction with her had been laced with passive-aggressive comments and petty competition. If I wore a new dress, she'd say, "It's cute, but I liked it better when I saw it in the store last year." If Nathan achieved something, she'd compare him to her own son, Tommy, making sure to downplay his success. Despite her constant need to compete, James and I did our best to ignore her behavior. We wanted Nathan and Tommy to grow up as close as brothers, and for years, we swallowed our pride for the sake of family unity. But this past Christmas, Sarah took things too far. At the family gift exchange, she handed Nathan a DNA test kit. It struck me as an odd present for a child, but Nathan had always been fascinated by science, so he was excited about it. However, later that evening, James came to me, his face tense. "She said some weird things to me earlier," he admitted. "She kept saying, 'It's about time you got some answers. The truth always comes out.'" I felt my stomach drop. I knew exactly what she was insinuating. Nathan had green eyes, while both James and I had brown. Anyone with a basic understanding of genetics knows that recessive traits can skip generations, but Sarah had been dropping subtle hints for years, implying that James might not be Nathan's father. James and I were furious, but we knew we couldn't let Sarah get to us. We decided to let Nathan take the test if he wanted to, confident that the results would prove what we already knew. James was his father. What we didn't realize was that Sarah's cruel game would soon backfire in the most devastating way imaginable. Nathan was excited about the DNA test, eager to learn more about his ancestry. We helped him submit the sample and didn't think much of it. However, Tommy, Sarah's son, watched with curiosity and decided he wanted to take a test too. Sarah's husband, Todd, thought it would be a fun family activity, so they ordered a kit for Tommy as well. It seemed innocent enough, but looking back, that moment set off a chain of events that would destroy Sarah's carefully constructed life. A few weeks later, Nathan's results arrived. As expected, James was confirmed as his biological father. It was a relief, but we hadn't doubted it for a second. Then, Tommy's results came in, and that's when everything fell apart. Todd was not Tommy's biological father. At first, everyone assumed there must have been a mistake. But when Todd ordered a second test, this time for their younger daughter, the truth became undeniable. He wasn't her father either. Sarah had been unfaithful. Not once, but twice. And for over a decade, she had been raising 2 children that didn't belong to her husband, all while pretending their family was perfect. The revelation shattered Todd. He had devoted his life to his family, never suspecting that Sarah had been lying to him for years. Todd wasted no time. Within days, he filed for divorce and left the house. Sarah tried to do damage control, but the evidence was overwhelming. The news spread through the family like wildfire. My in-laws were devastated. My husband was disgusted. And Sarah? She was furious, not at herself, but at me. She called me repeatedly, leaving sobbing voicemails. "You have to talk to Todd," she begged. "Convince him to give me another chance. He won't listen to me, but maybe he'll listen to you." I couldn't believe her audacity. This was the same woman who had spent years trying to sabotage my marriage. Yet now she expected me to help save hers. At first, I ignored her. But as time passed, my thoughts kept drifting back to Tommy and his little sister. They were the real victims in all of this. They had done nothing wrong, yet their world was crumbling because of their mother's selfish choices. James warned me to stay out of it. "Sarah made her bed," he said. "Let her lie in it." But could I really stand by and do nothing while 2 innocent children suffered? While Sarah spiraled, Todd started searching for answers. He wanted to know who the real father was. His suspicions led him to one of Sarah's former co-workers, a man she had always claimed was just a friend. Todd confronted him directly. It did not go well. The argument turned violent. Neighbors called the police, and Todd was arrested for assault. He was later released, but the incident only fueled Sarah's attempts to paint him as unstable. She started telling everyone that Todd was a dangerous man, that he had anger issues, and that she feared for the safety of their children. It was all manipulation. A desperate attempt to shift the blame. Todd, on the other hand, was done playing her games. He filed for full custody of the children, determined to protect them from Sarah's toxic influence. Sarah, of course, fought back. She tried to portray herself as the victim, claiming that everyone had turned against her unfairly. But when she lost her temper at my in-laws' house, throwing a rock through their car window, she proved just how unhinged she had become. That incident sealed her fate in the custody battle. Todd won. He was granted full custody of Tommy and his sister. Sarah was given only supervised visitation rights. With Todd as their primary guardian, the children started therapy to help them process everything they had been through. It wasn't easy, but little by little they began to heal, and Sarah, she was left with nothing. As I look back on everything that happened, I can't help but marvel at the irony. Sarah set out to ruin my marriage, convinced that she could expose me as a fraud. But in the end, it was her own lies that were exposed. She destroyed her own life, not mine. Most importantly, Tommy and his sister are now in a stable, loving environment. They have a chance to grow up without being manipulated by their mother's deceit. I've cut Sarah out of my life completely. I don't know if she'll ever change. I don't know if she'll ever take responsibility for what she's done. But, honestly, that's no longer my problem. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have helped Sarah or let her face the consequences of her own actions? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button for more real-life stories just like this one. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.